Hello everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much everybody who's listening right now in the podcast and everybody who's watching on YouTube. It is Sunday, April 19, 2026. I'm here actually to speak about the tragic news that we learned about today. This is about the father who went on a shooting spree and he actually took the lives of all of his children and the mom of his children, and also carjacked a person. And this happened earlier today in Louisiana. So I'm going to talk about that. So I'm also going to give you a trigger warning. Obviously, this is a very tragic thing that happened. It's horrific. Let me give you that trigger warning before I continue. Thank you so much, everybody who has been following JulissaDesigns podcast on Spotify. Thank you guys so much for doing that. It really helps me as a creator. And also, of course, everybody who's watching this video right now on YouTube. Thank you guys for sharing and subscribing. And crazy times that we're living in, guys. And this video is by no means trying to bring fear to anybody, right? But it's, you know, the reason that I share this news and give my commentary, I guess you can say, about it, is that it tells you how much we need the Lord and how much, as we get closer to the second coming of the Lord, these type of news are going to happen very often. These type of tragedies are going to happen very often. We need to get close with the Lord. The enemy is going to use everything that he can, right? This is obviously a case of the enemy at work. Obviously, a father of 7 children, who went after an argument, just basically went on a shooting spree, right? And that's just the works of the devil right there. So we're gonna see more and more of this, especially like I was saying, as we get closer to the second coming of the Lord, and how everything is just, it's a lot of people struggling right now. And when you live this life and you see like everything, you're being pressured from every angle. I'm not trying to excuse anybody by any means, but not if you don't have the Lord, if you don't have the peace of the Lord, the relationship with God, and to know that these things are going to happen, right? I mean, the disciple asked Jesus about when will we know that that you're coming back, that you're soon to return, that it's going to be that time, and everything that Jesus described to them is is difficult times, right? With your creator, always pray and always ask God for guidance. Things are getting very, not just what happened here, but there's a lot, a lot of the things that are happening. And I don't understand when people say, I don't like looking at the news. We have to know, especially as believers, we need to know exactly what's happening. Do you know how many times the Bible says, do not be deceived? Many will come in my name. And sometimes people think that, that's only speaking in the last day before the rapture, or on the last day right before Jesus' return. We need to remember that we are so easily deceived. I mean, if you listen to my previous episode, you kind of can understand what I'm referring to. So easily deceived, and if anything, we should be praying and seeking the Lord even more, right? So let me tell you exactly what happened. So it says here that a former Army National Guardsman accused of I'm gonna control I'm gonna be a little, I gotta censor some of the words that I may say here. Like I said, former National Guardsman accused of taking the life of his 8 young children in Louisiana on Sunday morning has been identified already, and his name is Shamar Elkins, a father to some of the victims. So he was a father to some of them. He was just 31 years old, a former member of the Louisiana National Guard. He opened fire in the Shreveport during a domestic dispute. A domestic dispute with his wife, 34-year-old Shaniqua Pug. Wow, so they were arguing, and then he just went on a shooting spree against the children. I mean, you can definitely see how the enemy is working, right? The suspect, who was fatally shot by police during the vehicle chase, is accused of taking the life of 8 children, with the youngest just being 18 months old. And I guess there was a police chase right after that happened. A total of 10 people were shot. And the mom and another woman survived the daily rampage. I wonder what was the argument about. Shreveport police said that the pair had an argument at their home that they shared with their children before he went on a shooting spree. One of the women is expected to survive the attack, but the other woman has some serious life-threatening injuries. The police said the horrific ordeal unfolded across 3 different locations. Wow. The first being the 300 block of West 79th Street near Linwood Avenue, was where the children were their life were taken in a home. Yes, I'm trying to read. I'm sorry. It says here the home was located near a church, and then Elkins, the dad, then performed a carjacking at that location that led officers to a high-speed chase. That's the chase that they're saying that happened earlier, traveling away to Harrison Street between Wallace Avenue and Bernstein Avenue. And the government says here that he then drove to the third location, where he was then shot and killed by the police. The crime scene was described as rather extensive by police personnel. Christopher Bordelon said, "We do believe him to be the only individual that fired the gunshots at this location." The mayor of the city also said that the incident is maybe the worst tragic situation they have ever had in Shreveport. So he said, quote unquote, "So right now we're going to process the information, and it's in very good hands." He added, the mayor of the city. And the father who did the massacre had been previously arrested in 2019 after cops said that he fired several shots near high school, according to some court records. And he was charged also with the illegal use of weapons and dangerous instrumentalities, I guess weapons, right? And carrying a firearm near a school. He served 30 days in jail after that happened and was placed on supervised release for 18 months. So let me see what else. So this is a guy who had a history of that. We just see, I wonder what they were arguing about. I mean, I know there's a lot of people struggling right now with a lot of things. And to look at this young father, 31 years old, 31 years old, Sunday morning, having a argument, right? I guess that got very heated, and then he just decided to do that to his own children. To 8 children, right? And then they say some of them were his own. That's crazy, you guys. We should really keep the community in your prayers, keep the family in your prayers. I cannot imagine what the children witnessed, right? How scared they must have been. It's so crazy, guys. So sad. Let me see some of the comments here. I know this was breaking news earlier today. Let me just see here. Oh, somebody said it appears that he had a lot of free time. And somebody also mentioned he likely received a dishonorable discharge from the National Guard due to the weapon conviction. Okay, wow. So this man, what triggered this guy? That's what I'm trying. They're not really speaking about it. I'm trying to see what triggered this guy, because everything that he did today took place in 3 different locations, to the point that he also, not only did he shot, it happened, he shot some of his children, he also took the life of other children. He shot 2 women, including the children's mom. He went out and carjacked somebody to take their car, right? And then drove to a different location, and that's when he was taken down, I guess you can say, by the police. What triggered this man like this? Oh my goodness. Um, Let me see. Somebody says, and I didn't even think about it until now. Somebody said here, clearly this is a mental health issue. I can't imagine what sort of argument would push a man to do this to his entire family. What I was just saying here. I'm trying to see, because I mean, I can understand, especially with the economy right now. Maybe they were arguing about money, and they have 7 children or something like this, and or whatever could have been, right? But to take somebody to that level, just basically complete disregard for human life, and for anybody in his household to do all of that. And like I was saying before, like what triggered him to get to that level, right? And somebody says definitely mental health. Um, Let me just see what else somebody says here. Somebody said horrific. There is so much evil in this world. 8 children murdered, 7 of his own. Now the range of evil you must be. The traumatic effects of war are enormous. That's what somebody said. So, I wonder if he wasn't even in therapy. Not that that's gonna excuse his behavior, obviously. I mean, it's so sad all around that this took place, so tragic. And somebody said here, he was probably traumatized from when he was serving. It's still like, I'm sure they go through therapy after coming back from serving. So, it's very sad all around. I'm sure they're going to be speaking about this throughout this week in the news, maybe kind of give us more details about what the argument was about, and what the witnesses said. He said something, right? When he went and carjacked that person to get their car, did he say something? What did he look like? Was he so super angry, or just silently just, pointing at somebody? Or did you see any distress, whoever was the person who owned that car? So I wonder, I hope they release more of the details. This is very tragic, guys. Like I said, keep the family in your prayers. Thank you guys so much for coming to the channel. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I was just gonna say, let's keep the country in our prayers. Thank you guys so much. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.